Hey guys, it's Terry. Welcome to the first of a video series that I'm doing here, where we will be looking at all 32 NHL teams, looking at their off seasons, and previewing what we could see in the off season. Of course, there are surprises every year that you won't expect. So I'm not going to make a bunch of predictions and have them all come true, but this will basically be more of a opinion-based series. I will have guests on for some shows, but I thought it would be fun to kind of take a look at the teams heading into the draft and the free agency, and then doing my regular season preview shows again in September, where we'll take a look at the teams after the draft, after free agency, and kind of see how they look heading into next year. So we are going to start with the Utah Mammoth. So Utah finally has a name. It's not Hockey Club. For people that have been watching the channel for a while now, knows that my opinion, I did not like that Hockey Club was an option for the final name. So I'm happy that Utah went with the Mammoth. A nice logo. Could have used a little bit more color, but hey, we're not going to complain here about the logo. I do like the name. I do like the logo. So, and I do like this team, despite being a division rival for the Minnesota Wild. I think we should be. This is a team to watch in the off season and heading into next year as well. So, first segment is taking a look at the draft picks for Utah, as well as their current management. So starting with the draft picks, Utah has their first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth picks. They don't have any extra picks this year from any other teams, and they don't have their seventh round pick. But while they don't have any extra picks this year, they do next year. Next year, they have their first round pick, as well as 3 second-round picks, 2 third-round picks, as well as 2 fifth-round picks. So they've got a lot of extra draft picks next year. Utah as well, extra 4th and 5th-round picks in 2027 as well. So Utah is one of those teams when we're looking at offer sheets and who is able to offer sheet what players. Utah has all their picks over the next few years. They are able to offer sheet any restricted free agent that they want. So they have a lot of opportunity. As we saw last year with St. Louis offer sheeting Dylan Holloway and Broberg. It could happen. We haven't seen it in a while, but we might see it more, especially with the fact that the salary cap is going up quite a bit. Which we'll get to here in just a few moments. Management. Utah, they've got their general manager in Bill Armstrong. They got their head coach in Andre Tourigny. So GM, head coach filled, not an issue heading into the offseason like it is for some other teams. Utah has no worries there with both positions filled. Free agents. Now we're going to look at the restricted free agents and UFAs available for all the ones that are available, as well as the ones that are expiring here for Utah. So at this current moment, Utah does have an estimated $21.1 million cap space. So they've got a lot of cap space to work with here. And looking at the cap, because a lot of people might not be aware, the cap was at $88 million last season, and it hasn't really increased a whole lot in previous years, but it is increasing for this season and increasing significantly the next 3 years. So this year, going from $88 million to $95.5 million. Next year, it'll be increasing, or in 2026, 2027, it'll be increasing to $104 million. And then 27, 28, it'll be $113.5 million. So going from 88 million to 113, that's an extra 25 million, $25.5 million each team gets to spend in the next 3 years compared to what they could have spent before this. So we are going to see guys get much bigger contracts. It's just what's going to happen here in the off season. So everybody is going to be looking at some of these deals, and there will be big overpayments. There will. But a lot of people are going to be looking at the deals in the offseason thinking the guy's overpaid. You do have to factor in that we are going to be seeing the cap increase by quite a large amount this year and the next couple of years. So when it comes to Utah, Jack McBain, I think, is their main focus on this list. RFA as a guy that they will want to re-sign. Kyler Yamamoto, he is RFA. He didn't overall have the best season. 3 points in 12 games played for Utah. I don't know if he really fit in. A depth guy. I don't know if Utah will re-sign him or what in this offseason. Looking at the UFAs, wouldn't shock me to see all four find themselves on other teams. Nick Bjugstad, 19 points in 66 games played last year, 19 games and 53 points, and 53 games played for Michael Carcone, and then Bortuzzo and Nick DeSimone as well. So really, the main focus here would be Jack McBain, who is not going to cost $21.1 million. So Utah is going to have some significant cap space to work with. Looking at their forward group, this is obviously just a projection heading into next year. I expect it to look different, the forward group here heading into next year. But based on how things are right now, this is probably how things would look. Keller, Cooley, Gunther on that top line, Schmaltz, Barrett, Hayden, and Josh Stone on that second line. And Josh Stone is a player that I would be watching next year. I'm going to be seeing what his season point total looks like for next season, because I do think he's a player that's going to take that next step next year, which is great for this Utah team, who I think is going to have a good offense. I think Josh Stone will have a big part in that heading into next year. Of course, Dylan Gunther, we bet his point total at 55.5 for last year. He did miss 12 games to injury, which is always a worry, but he still got 60 points in those 70 games. So a great year for Dylan Gunther last year, and I don't even think he's hit his ceiling yet. I think we will see even better seasons in years to come for Dylan Gunther. So Josh Stone, a guy to watch as well. Krause, obviously they got to get McBain re-signed to have him here. Matthias Michelli on that third line. Kerfoot, Kevin Stenlund, Liam O'Brien on the fourth line. Kyler Yamamoto, as I said, not sure if he'll get re-signed here. If he does, he's a depth guy. And then Tija Ginla, well, I don't think he'll play next year, is future, obviously top prospect, son of Jerome Ginla. We'll probably see him, probably not next year, but as he's only 18 still, but we'll see him over the next few years as a guy who will jump into this lineup. So next, I'm going to run through these really quickly because you guys are going to see these same guys here on a lot of these preview shows, of course, unless things change and they get re-signed by their team before then. But Ehlers, Brad Marchand, Jamie Benn, Jonathan Drouin, Andrei Kuzmenko, James Van Riemsdyk. Those are the top left wing free agents heading into next year. When we're looking at centers, you've got Duchesne, Tavares, Granlund, Ryan Donato, who had a really good year with Chicago last year, 62 points, 31 goals, 31 assists. I think Donato's going to get a big deal with somebody. Brock Nelson, Sam Bennett is going to be a highly sought-after free agent if he doesn't re-sign with Florida. Giroux and Suter as well. For centers, right wingers, Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner is a name you're seeing everywhere. Of course, 102 points last year, almost double the next closest guy, which was Patrick Kane. So Mitch Marner, 28 years old, he's going to get an 8-year deal, and it is going to be a double-digit deal with somebody. Utah is one of those teams here that they could sign Mitch Marner. They've got the cap space here. And then if you add Mitch Marner into this lineup, we'll go back to it here. If you add Mitch Marner here into this, so Dylan Gunther would be getting bumped down to the second line, which means Josh Doan would likely get bumped down to the third line. But you want to build a strong offensive third line as well. You want guys that can score on your third line. Adding Mitch Marner into this offense would be a huge addition for Utah. So they are potentially a team that could look at signing Mitch Marner. And as we went over, restricted free agents. This is the list of the top restricted free agents available heading into next season. A lot of names in this list that a lot of teams would like to have. Guys like Marco Rossi and Bowen Byram are in trade rumor talks. So we'll see what becomes of that. Obviously, as a Wild fan, I'll talk more about Marco Rossi, about my thoughts on trading him on the Minnesota show. I don't think Marco goes to Utah. I don't think that's in the cards here. Looking at this list of players, though, if we're looking at Utah's roster, I would be giving Buffalo a call about Bowen Byram if they're interested in trading him. The Islanders obviously have a new GM now, so we'll see what happens with Noah Dobson. But Noah Dobson, as well as Evan Bouchard, both of those guys would be guys that if Utah is looking at putting in an offer sheet, I would consider Evan Bouchard or Noah Dobson. And that's a perfect segue into the defenseman for Utah. I think if you put Evan Bouchard into this group, or if you put Noah Dobson into this group, I think it's going to massively help Utah heading into next season. Those two big guys, of course, will make any lineup better. But the defenseman group here for Utah, Mikhail Sergachev, obviously a top pair defenseman. John Marino dealt with injury issues last year. Ian Cole is more of a third pair guy, in my thoughts. Sean Durzi also dealt with injuries last year. He played 30 games, so injuries there. Olli Mata, Michael Kesselring. Michael Kesselring was a big bright spot for Utah last year. 29 points. He played all 82 games, but he was 8th in scoring on the team last year. So a great year from him. Maybe see him move into the top 4 here. Maverick Lamoureux is a young defenseman for Utah, a guy that will be a guy we'll see here in the future. Not sure if he will play a whole lot. He's 21 years old, so still pretty young. He did play in 15 games last year for Utah, so the guy we could see play with some injuries. But I do think adding a defenseman here, maybe a defensive defenseman, a good shot blocker here would be good for Utah to improve their defense heading into next season. Top UFA defensemen available are these guys here. I think Gavrikov would be a great addition for Utah. Any of these guys here on this list when it would help the Mammoth. Brent Burns, 40 years old, still at 29 points here. I don't think he goes to Utah. I think he stays in Carolina or maybe retires. Who knows? We'll have to see. But hey, he's 40, still producing. Maybe he keeps playing. Obviously, you can see much older than everybody else in the list here. But if Utah doesn't look at offer sheeting or getting into a trade, if they want to look through free agency, I do think Gavrikov would be a good addition for Utah. And finally, we get to goaltenders. Heading into next year, Karel Vejmelka is projected to be the starter, which is no big surprise. He played a ton of games heading down the stretch for Utah, pretty much every game. Jackson Stauber did play some games there. Connor Ingram, of course, entered into the player assistance program, so his status is a bit uncertain heading into next year. I don't think Karel Vejmelka should have to play as many games as he did last year. I think from what we've seen from him, he can definitely, as all goaltenders, he has those fantastic games throughout the last few years. I remember like a 50-shot game. I think it was against Winnipeg that he played in. And won for them. So definitely is a good goaltender. I think, though, Utah, they are in a very tough division. The Central is a very tough division. So obviously you've got Winnipeg, Colorado, and Dallas. The Wild have some cap space. They're going to be making some additions going into next year. They were tied with Winnipeg and even ahead of Winnipeg for first in the NHL before dealing with a lot of injuries. So the Wild, a team to deal with. Nashville, we'll be talking about them eventually. Was supposed to have a great year last year, didn't. Maybe they surprised people this year. So Utah is in a very tough division. And when I look at this lineup, I like the forward group. The defenseman, as I said, looking at adding a defenseman, maybe a defensive defenseman. But I think goaltending, if Utah could improve their goaltending here, they're a playoff team, in my opinion, heading into next year. When we look at goaltenders, lots of UFA goaltenders available. I don't know who on the UFA list will really help Utah all that much. Dan Vladar did have a good year in Calgary last year. James Reimer played well in Buffalo, obviously despite not having a lot of help defensively in front of him. With goaltending, there are those goalies that have great years that you just won't expect. I don't think anybody expected Logan Thompson to play as well as he did this year for the Washington Capitals. Maybe Karel Vejmelka, maybe that's his year next year. But if not, Utah, I think, should be looking at improving in net. The big name is Jake Ottinger. He is a restricted free agent for Dallas. Dallas fans will be sending me angry messages, even just bringing his name up. But he would be a sought-after goaltender here. He could potentially receive an offer sheet. Get a lot of different teams would want his services, and I think obviously Dallas will. I expect him to re-sign in Dallas, but Utah would be a team that could really use a Jake Ottinger in net. So, final segment of the Utah Mammoth offseason preview show is Offseason Tasks. For Utah, the 3 tasks for them are all look at. So look at adding a top 9 forward. I like their forward group. They don't add anybody to their forward group. I think it looks great heading into next season. It's going to be a strong offense, whether they add somebody or not. We talked about defense. I think adding a defensive defenseman would really help the back end, and then look at upgrading in goal. So those are the 3 offseason tasks for Utah. Of course, making the playoffs is probably the number 1 goal for Utah next year. So I think if they add one of these, if they improve one of these positions, I think they could definitely be a playoff team. If they go and add 3 guys, one in each position, this team could be really good next year. So Utah Mammoth is a team to watch heading into this offseason, whether they look to be active in the trade market. Do they sign somebody to an offer sheet, or do they look to free agency? I expect a big year and a big offseason from the Utah Mammoth. So they are one of my teams to watch, and they are the first team that we're going over here in this offseason preview video series. If you guys like the video, make sure to hit the like button and give me your thoughts about Utah in the comments below. Of all the free agents that I've shown on the screen, or if there, of course, there's a lot of others as well, who would be a good fit for Utah? Who do you think they should add?